I got my MFA in art and I was a fine artist and a photographer for many years, I really feel that graphic design is an area that I love teaching, and I also love doing design projects. And one of the things I love about design is it's a problem that you can solve. So you're given a specific problem usually from a client, and then you have to come up with a strategy or a design that will actually solve that problem. And not only do you usually come up with one solution, you come up with many different solutions for the client, and then they kind of choose which one works best for them. My name is Joanne Denning, and I'm an instructor of digital media at Diablo Valley College. I've been here about 10 years, actually no, 15 years, I'm getting old. And I've been teaching a wide range of classes from video to graphic design, digital imaging, portfolio development, and digital illustration. So my background is I went to UC San Diego and got my undergraduate degree in political science and visual arts. And I really decided that I wanted to be a photographer. So I started studying photography and working for commercial photographers. And I actually was, for a short time, a photojournalist. And I also worked for a medical photographer, which was pretty interesting. One of the big challenges in digital media and in graphic design is to stay current with the software and the technology and just kind of what's happening in the world, so that you can be relevant and really speaking about your time and place and where you're at in culture and society. So I think it just takes a lot of research. You have to not only be creating design projects, but you also need to be looking at other designers, you need to be learning new software, and that could be a challenge. But I think that if you are passionate about graphic design, it starts to become fun because it's always an opportunity for you to learn something new. You're never, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're never at the very top and pinnacle of the design process and the design world, because there's always something new out there that will challenge you and force you to kind of go down the mountain and relearn something so that you can stay current and relevant. When I was working as a commercial photographer, a lot of my work was small product photography, and then I started doing some web design layout. So the product photography might just be cosmetics. This is kind of an example of something I would photograph, and I would use a big lighting table, and we would set up the light so that the light was kind of coming from underneath or above. And then I started to really kind of get involved in some of the layout of the site. So it was fun to kind of do the layout for these vendors of these products. And I would do this kind of to help me build my web design skills, because that's kind of where I wanted to move in with my career. And so it was really a great opportunity when I was working for some of these startups. And then recently, I've been helping out some local architects and doing some photography for them, and then also working on their web design. And so, like I said before, the photography's really helped me. It's where I started, and then kind of going into graphic design and web design has been it's been nice to be able to use my own images and to be able to shoot photographs when needed to really supplement my web design clients. One important tip that I can give you is the way that you approach your career and the way that you even can maybe approach your life. Being young is great, but it's also really confusing and challenging, and it's hard to kind of see what road you should take. If you're really passionate about being a graphic designer and you want to take that road, then what I would recommend is that you look at the road as a journey, and that you kind of realize you're never going to get to one place. It's always going to be a journey. You're always going to be learning. You're always going to be building. You're always going to be changing. And you might take steps back in your journey and then go steps forward. But the important thing is that you, instead of overanalyzing your abilities in the current moment, you think about what you could possibly become. And if you can envision what you want to become, then I'm 100% certain that you can do that. You can become that designer.